BBN, what's going on, guys? You know what it is. The show's right there. If you haven't liked or subscribed to the channel yet, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button to the video. I really appreciate it, and thank you guys for joining in. I am your host, Michael, and we are about to have another fun night here on a Tuesday night talking Kentucky sports. Man, I feel like since I left last time and talked to you guys last Thursday, there's been a lot of things that have been going on whatsoever, from football violations to recruiting to it's just so much going on right now. But for me, I'm just glad that the dry season of sports is almost over and we can get back to the football field and we can play some basketball soon. Look, Kentucky is just look, it's almost sports time in America. And I'm freaking excited about that. Let me go up here. Let me put this down right here and let me see who gets my first shout out for the day. Son of a gunner, you get the first shout out tonight for being the first one on YouTube tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Ooh, Paul, you just missed it. Yes, sir. Thank you guys for joining in tonight. Let me turn down this volume a little bit because even I sound loud. Let me see if I can adjust that. I hope that's better right there. Maybe it's just my headphones is loud. But what's going on, people? Man, I'm glad to be back in the house tonight because UK is in the house tonight. Thank you guys for joining in. I appreciate it. I'm trying to figure out who's going to be. Don't forget, guys, let me know where you're watching. Finally remember they live. Thank you so much. I got to turn on that notification bell, and I salute you. Absolutely. Don't forget to turn on that bell. Zeb, thank you for joining in. What's up? I appreciate it. Man, I love seeing you guys flow in tonight. It feels good. We got some stuff to just hang out. I'm missing family right now, so this right here is my family, and this is what we do here on the Loyal BBN Fan Show. Please don't forget to let me know where you're watching from, so we can have a good time. If you have a birthday, anniversary, or something special, please let me know so I can give you a shout out as well to let it be known. Rick Brown, I see you coming on in. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining in. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me as well too. So, man, UK basketball. You know, I know football is going to come up around the corner just a couple of more weeks, and we're back on the field. But I see that UK basketball finally made the cut for ESPN's top early 25, number 23, I think it was. I don't like. I'm trying to wrap my head around this so much. Linda, you get the first shout out for Facebook tonight. Thank you so much, Linda. You get the first shout out for being here on Facebook. Absolutely. So, what up, family? But it really surprises me that all of these, I know it's early and I know we still got to play basketball. And I know this is something that, that our guys are going to look at and our guys are it's going to fuel them and it's going to help them to, what I'm saying, to inspire them to really do more. But Shot Glass, I see you. Thanks for coming on in the house. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oh, I forgot to put lotion on my head. My head is so dry right now. Sorry about that. Oh man, I can feel it. It's just it's bad. It's chapping. But it really surprises me that these people who decide to rank basketball and want to put teams where they want to put them at look at UK as being a team that, well, they don't have any 5 stars. All they got is just some role players from smaller schools. So we're not ready. We don't feel that Kentucky has what it takes this year to be in the top, to be relevant this year. And that just like it just shocks me. It really does. It's like this is Kentucky. I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys can help me. Maybe it's Coach Pope. Maybe he doesn't have a brand yet, as someone actually pointed out in one of the comments in my last video. I don't know. Maybe it's because we don't have any superstars, 5-star guys on the team. But 5 stars don't necessarily guarantee you that it's going to be wins. Like what happened to having guys stick around in basketball and grow and mature and understand how to play this level of ball instead of just believing that it's all about the young guys or freshmen who comes in and they are who makes a team. Don't get me wrong. I think every team is better if they have one or two great 5-star players. But I think at the end of the day, it's about having those guys who have been on the court before, who actually has played basketball before. I forgot to do this right here. Let me put this up right here. My fault, guys. Let me see if I can. Nope, that's not what I want. Where is that at right here? It says hold on one second, guys. My apologies for that. Right here. This is what I'm looking for right here. Okay, I forgot to put it up. Harold, I see you in the house tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So this is oh yeah, we're gonna be tough out. So for me, like I don't understand. I would like to be in a room when these people start ranking these teams, and it's early. And I'm okay with that. It doesn't matter if we're number one in the country. It doesn't matter if we're number 25 or if we're not even ranked. We still got to go out and play a basketball game like we out there to win games. I'll be the first to admit that. But I just think the disrespect that that these guys are just putting on Coach Pope, that these guys are putting on our players just because they're not high profile players. Like we we got one of the oldest teams in the nation next year. Doesn't that count for anything? We got guys who know how to play basketball. Just because they come from one school to the other, or from a smaller school. I mean, smaller schools are beating teams every year. It ain't. There's no surprise. So just because if you're looking at our guys and saying, well, our guys are, that they come from smaller, no-name teams, these guys are not going to come to Kentucky and compete. If you don't think our guys are not ready to compete in the SEC this year, SEC is tough, man. It is. Night in and night out, you're going to get everybody's best just because you at Kentucky and people want to beat you. So these guys are going to be ready. These guys are going to be locked in. And I think that these guys, the people who decide to rank Kentucky and rank these teams and want to disrespect us and want to put us way down on the bottom, I think we're going to show something this year that we're going to be able to prove to the nation that we're better than what you think that we have, that you're actually putting us at right there. So it's good to see everybody in the house tonight, man. Don't forget to hit that like button right now. If you're watching from YouTube right now, please go hit that like button. If you're new to the show, don't forget to subscribe. I got to do it better. I got to do better at actually promoting the show as well too. Sometimes I'm not that well at actually promote my own show. So nobody, you're not late. You're right on time, baby. You're not late. You're right on time. It's good to see you. To just put a chip on I think so too, son of a gun. The disrespect will put a chip on our shoulders. I love it, like I do, and like my rage is not coming on here and feeling like Kentucky needs to be number one in the nation, and every voting people need to say that UK is just the best. That's not even the case for me. It's just the disrespect. You know what I'm saying? They're just feeling like, well, we'll throw you guys in there at number 23 just because, for whatever reason. Come on, man. You telling me that right now in the nation, ESPN is telling me that there's 22 other better teams in America than it is in Kentucky. Man, come on, man. Get the freak out of here, dude. We don't do the disrespecting here, but that's okay though. As we say, that's okay, man. Let them disrespect us. We just go out and win the whole freaking thing. Why not? You know what I'm saying? I mean, they just like it's so much disrespect in the house. And I hope that, I believe that our guys are looking at this and they're smiling and they're going to stay humble, which I always like a team who stays humble as much as possible. But our guys are going to look at this and be like, okay, Coach Pope is like, okay, the coach staff is like, okay, you know, these are the kind of things that just want to make a team go out every single night, every single day at practice and practice harder. Because soon these guys will be able to go all full out, longer practices, more film to everything would just be longer. So that time is coming. So I'm definitely looking forward. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing when our cats can get in the gym a lot, to stay a lot longer, have more on station time, I guess as we would call it in the military. But I think it's really BSPN. I think so too. So, I mean, at the end of the day, people are going to rank where they want to be at. But we still as a team, we still, regardless if we're ranked number one, if we're not even ranked number 25, we still have an obligation every single ball game, every single practice to go out and get better than what we was the day before. Put all the rankings to the side, because when it comes to March Madness, in a way, all that goes out the window. The only time that really plays for your rankings is part of where you can end up going. That's the biggest part. But once they already rank you and once they already put you in your brackets, everything else goes out the window. Then this is when you got to go out there on the hardwood, and this is when you got to go play basketball. So at the end of the day, we might be number 23 ranked by ESPN, but at the end of the day, we still got to go out here and we still, you know what I'm saying? and we still got to go out here and we still got to play basketball, and that's the joy of it. And even though football season started, which we'll cover a little bit in football right after this, even though football season is right around the corner, I think all eyes are still on college basketball, especially for us Kentucky fans who's wanting to see what year one looks like, Coach Pope. What does our players actually do? Is this a recipe that Coach Pope can continue to go out and recruit and pull the transfer the older guys in and just dip in and get some younger guys and put it all together to make a special team? Get that one superstar like a Robinson, get that one guy who can come in and then you know that he's kind of like that dude, and then put pieces around him, including a couple of maybe 1 or 2 5 stars. Now, my thing is this, and I know that JC and Jimmy, those guys they watch too as well. But my question is for you guys is, does Coach Pope have what it takes to get at least 1 5 star this year? I seen the comment in one of my videos that Coach Pope in year one, 2025, will not land not one single 2025 5 star player. Will he have the opportunity, or will it have to be this year? We have to be truly successful in order to draw the attention to at least get one. Because I got a text that is really looking like Kentucky is losing ground on Jasper. Look like it's UNC or Alabama because of what they're paying, I guess, if I'm correct on that. But this is a year for Coach Pope to come out and make a statement and says, I'm that coach. I can coach a team. I don't need a bunch of 5 stars. I don't need a bunch of superstars. The way I run my system is I get everybody involved and I maximize everybody's talent according to what it is that they can do. And I think if that's the case this year, and if we can go out, if we can get past the first weekend, which we haven't did in a long time, if we can make a run, maybe if we can get past the Sweet 16 and get to the Elite Eight at least, maybe these young guys will say, okay, I like what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Are we going to shoot 50, 40, 40 to 50, 53s a ball game? Are we going to play fast? Are we going to get up down the court? And everyone really just waiting to see what kind of coach Pope is in year one. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Hey, Tighten Up. Thank you so much for joining us. If I missed anybody, let me see if I missed anybody right now. Vandy Chris, hey, I appreciate you joining, Chris. I thought this was Big Mike and the Lawyer BBN fan, not a Tennessee Falls wine. We're not. Anyway, but at the end of the day, it doesn't. As a Kentucky fan, we're used to being in that top 15 numbers year after year after year. How do we deal with I guess, not even to use the word adversity, but how do we use it when no one is giving us any love? What do we do then as fans? We continue to support our Wildcats. Our Wildcats come out and they still continue to play basketball game after game, continue in practice to get better and better. And I think with that combination, I think people are going to come around because at Kentucky, the cameras are always on. The red light is always on at Kentucky. And if you go out and if you can be this productive game after game, more and more cameras are going to start noticing, more and more fans, more and more people are going to start noticing, hey, Kentucky might have something this year. And I think that's the special part about what's going on with Kentucky. Let me take this right here off the board if I know how. Take this off right here. Okay. Hide it right here. So I think at the end of the day, I just think we used to being top 15, then dropping out of top 25 by the end of the year. Opposite now. So yeah, but it's something that we definitely are going to have to get used to. But that's okay though, because I think Coach Pope, and that's okay because everyone has to build their brand. Everyone has to build who they are. And I think I'm okay. And I'm pretty sure like a lot of you guys, I think a lot of you guys are okay with it too. That's okay if teams and people are doubting us in year one. We just got to go out. We're gonna have to show people that this is still Kentucky and that we still can play basketball at a high level. And it doesn't matter if we're getting those 5-star guys or not. Coach Pope is gonna do whatever it takes to be able to get those guys to come in and buy into his system. And no matter, and look, just because you're a 3-star player, 2-star player, or whatever, it doesn't matter. These guys can still come out and play basketball. And Even when we play small mid-major schools, we always hold our breath, because there's one thing that we can always say: there's going to be one person on one of those teams that's going to come out and going to bust us in the mouth with about 25, 20, 27, 29 points in that ball game, and we're going to be set back. We might get the win, but we're going to look back and be like, okay, man, like, why couldn't we stop this guy because he's only at so and so college? That's simple. It's because guys out there who don't make it to D1 schools, Power Five schools, it doesn't take away that these guys still can't play basketball. It just means that they just wasn't noticed where they was at. But now the transfer portal, because of the seasons that they have prior, it gives them the opportunity now to be noticed by Power Five schools. And that's why Kentucky got the guys who they is, because, and even some of those guys like Kerr, like some of those guys like Amari, um, Garrison, Carr, like Coach Pope has been watching these guys from a distance anyhow. So because of that, I think it's not that you came from a small school. It's just that it was just not enough. It's just you didn't get noticed for whatever from wherever you was at in the region or whatever, in the country, and you didn't get noticed, and everybody else just kind of was looked over you. So at the end of the day, we still got guys on our team that can win ball games. And whether you're an outside team or whatever, inside of our BBN family, because that's what we are. There's no other fan base out there bigger than Kentucky. It just isn't. Show me one. And I know Michigan has a big one. Ohio State has a big one. But at the end of the day, I think the BBN is just, it's nothing like us out there. We're enormous, and I think the support that we're going to give Coach Pope in year one is just going to be enormous. And I think that's going to be something that's going to help our guys go out here to fuel them to want to be better and better each and every day. And I think that's what it is right here. Um, I think it's just a whole nation is waiting on Pope's first year to see how it'll be. They'll see about it, and I agree with. I never worry about rankings till I see some games played. I agree with you as well, Paul. I'm with you on that, and you could take the rankings, you could throw the rankings out the windows, because at the end of the day, whether you number one or not even ranked, you still got to go out and play a basketball game. And number ones get upset the same way same way number 25 in the nation get upset. So who's the better team? And I think early in the season, I think going in and playing that Duke game will set the tone for a lot of things, will set the narrative for a lot of things. If we go in, if we can knock off Duke, which I think we will beat Duke this year, if we go in and knock off Duke this year, then that's when people are going to start recognizing. That's when some of the recruits will go, okay, you know what? I don't know who this Coach Pope is. I don't know. But you know what? Maybe he got something here. Maybe I should give him a second look. Maybe I should give him a third or fourth look. I just think it's about game by game situation, and it's about going out there and actually giving yourself a chance to win a ball game. And I think that's what we're going to do. Nobody says all this team coming in from all over the country and different conferences. UK will be at the dinner table across America just after this year. Kentucky, man, it is what it is, and people can come in, they can say what they want to say. The reason why people hate on Kentucky, because they not us. Because if you get some of the guys that hate on Kentucky, if you get some of the media, or if you get some of the fans that hate on Kentucky, let their team be like Kentucky. Let them have the name that we have, and then we'll see how they feel as well too. People just hate because they're not Kentucky. It just is. People can say what they want to say. They can go back and forth and they can rattle with us. But at the end of the day, that's it right there, guys. That's all it is right there. Kentucky, UK, freak it. That's what it is right there. People hate because they're not Kentucky. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. So, we're going to just keep playing ball because we Kentucky, baby. And this is what we do at UK. Yes, sir. It is. So since I left, since Thursday, so much has happened. Like I said in the beginning, UK football, and I know I know a lot of people have Pope would get who he needs for whatever spot needs field, as long as they know that it means. Yeah, at the end of the day, me too, you're either with us or against us. Go Cats from Erlanger, Kentucky. Hey, thanks, Joe, for joining in. I appreciate you. I see you. Thank you so much. To be honest, I think Pope will land at least 1 5-star, but I really don't care if he does or not, as long as he continues to put together veteran players that can put them. Look, I had to. Hey, Earl, I had to read that. I had to read that a second time just to make sure. I had to go. That is a pretty. So I'm not sure if anybody else caught this. How Earl actually stated this. Let me see if I can find that. Hold on, man. I don't want to lose that. Where is it? Right here. The end of it. So I had to Earl, that's okay. That's that last part of that. I had to actually understand how to read it at first, but get them W's. So I it must be the chickens, Earl. Absolutely. That's what it might be. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate it, man. That's awesome, dude. Let me make sure I ain't missing nobody who just coming in. This team, all this team coming in from all over the country, different conferences. UK will be at the dinner table. Yep. So I agree with you right there. Nobody. Absolutely. Yep. Um, Let me see. Make sure I didn't miss anybody who's actually coming. Duke is the largest. Oh man, Duke is the number one largest fan base on social media, and it isn't close. Duke has fans on social media. UK is a distant with two. Not to argue, but UK isn't. Okay, that's fine. I always like it, Chris. Appreciate you, big guy. Always like it. Yeah. But like I said, there ain't no fan base out there bigger than Kentucky, okay? Duke don't travel like Kentucky or any of that. Nobody travels. Hey, Moonshine. Don't nobody travel like Kentucky. Say what you want to, okay? But when they take Kentucky and they look at Kentucky, they don't just look at Kentucky's team when they want to place somebody. Look at a bowl game, okay? Look at a bowl game, okay? When they take a bowl game, they don't just look at Kentucky, whether it's football. You know what they look at? Kentucky got a fan base that's going to travel to the end of the world just to see their guys play. They understand that when Kentucky shows up, everybody in the community is getting paid. Look at Nashville. Did you see a bunch of orange in Nashville for SEC tournament? Kentucky freaking turned out Nashville, man. Come on, man. Look, there's nobody bigger than Kentucky. You can say what you want to, throw up some numbers if you want to. It does not matter. At the end of the day, Kentucky is worldwide. It just is. Even Matt Jones traveling Europe and everywhere he went, somewhere was everywhere. Even over here, man. Even over here in Kuwait, man, I run into UK fans. It's everywhere. There's a I was in a chat on Facebook or whatever. There's a UK fan in Israel. Like, come on, man. We're everywhere, dude. Come on, we are everywhere. And say what you want to, but we're not gonna get in that. Football, okay? Football. Football's on probation. They had to give up the 2021 whole season, forfeited. Mark Stoops lost 10 games off his records. We can't celebrate the Citrus Bowl. We can't do all of this. The coaches didn't know, but we know who won these ball games. So people can go back and people can say, well, you guys cheated. Well, the Citrus Bowl, if we didn't play with those guys in the Citrus Bowls, would we have lost the game? Yeah. But when you put man to man, when you put our best against your best, let it all do the talking. Just let you know, just just let it do the talking. For real, I can't wait to this year, man. Like, I'm so freaking pumped up this year for football. I'm ready. So my question to you guys about the football is the football team, are they gonna be are they going to be a team that's really going to go out and be legit this year, or are we going to show up this year to just be pretenders again? Is this hard, long SEC seasons with the extra game of Texas? Is this going to be a year for UK football to go out and just be like, oh, we all right. We may just be good enough just to make a bowl game. We may win just 6 games. I look with the defense, with the maturity of guys that we come back. I know we now got some injuries that, like, especially on defense, that's going to keep like almost 3 or 4 guys out the whole season. I know that's going to hurt us and everything like that. But I think with the maturity, with the amount of guys we got coming in, with the mixture of the young guys, I feel like our football team should go out and be fairly good this year. They should go out and win. And for me, I was listening to somebody and it made a lot of sense. For me, the question was, what's the game on the schedule that's going to set the tone for the year. And at first, I was like, okay, can we go on a road? Uh, can we go on the road? Just can we go on the road this year and get a big time win? Whether it's Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas, or one of those, you know what I'm saying, one of those teams, or Florida. But they mentioned that if we can go out in game two and beat South Carolina, to me, that sets things up to be, you know what I'm saying, for a successful year. If you want to be taken serious in the SEC, you got to beat teams like South Carolina. Vandy shouldn't even be an issue whatsoever. We don't even have to even discuss Vandy next year. Vandy should just be a win. It just should. But I think to go out and be a successful year, can we beat South Carolina? Can we go out and can we beat Florida? I am so happy that this dry period is just about over. I have had enough of no sports. I really am. So to me, I just want to make sure that we can get on the field and that we can play solid football. And one thing that I heard about, one thing that I've been seeing a lot from the defense side of the ball is that we're going to be more aggressive. Let me tell you something. And sometimes I get a little emotional, and sometimes I wear my emotions on my sleeves. But if we come out this year in football, and if we're going to give guys, and if we're going to give the offense, that we're going to play off the offense 7 or 8 yards back and just let them just catch the ball and run, if we don't be more aggressive, man, I'm turning off my TV. It just is. You cannot be in the SEC. You cannot call yourself someone who's trying to make strides every single year, and you still want to play off the ball 5, 6, 7, 8 yards and you want to give them that much cushion. Man, just throw the guy the ball and let him go with it. Come on, man. Look, dude, like I'm for real. Like, we gotta play aggressive football this year on defense. We just do. Look, I'm a defensive side of the guy ball. I love defense, and I will always believe that defense wins ball games. And if we don't come out this year, and if we don't act more, if we don't act more aggressive and act like we want to battle and stop being so freaking timid and so afraid, come on, Brad White, play some football, man. Trust your guys out there. Let them look. We gotta be aggressive this year. We can't come out and just be timid. We just can't. Like, I don't look. People listen to press conferences and people listen to what it is the coaches, we listen to what coaches going to do here and what coaches is going to do there. At the end of the day, man, let you guys go out and play football, man. Okay? And get somebody in there who can play man to man. I'm tired of just giving up play after play after play, playing such a soft defense. Coach Stoops, you're a defensive minded guy, right? So let's be aggressive. You wanna have your hands in the offense. You want to control what the offense does. You want to slow the tempo down. You don't want to be fast. So hey, you're a defensive guy. So let's be aggressive and let's play football. I want to win some football games this year, and I want to beat a team or two that nobody says we have no business beating. I just do. That's Stoops taking over, playing, not to lose in crunch time rather than to win. We got to be aggressive from when we kick the ball off. We got to be aggressive all ball game. And look, if these guys can't play man to man, get somebody. Look, just keep looking. We would much rather lose a ball game being aggressive than just keep being soft and just being like, I'm tired of coming down to the last of the wire, wondering if we can just hold on. Come on, man, just hold on. Just hold on to this football game. Come on, man, it's in your hands. Just hold on. Nope, we don't. We're too freaking soft back there. And look, I like Coach Stoops. I'm not sitting here advocating and saying that Coach Stoops is not the man that should be at Kentucky. But some things are going to have to be changed, and we're going to have to stop hearing the same thing over and over again, is that we got intentions of being aggressive. We got intentions of speeding up the offense. Dude, look, if I'm bringing a coach in there and I'm paying him that much money to run my offense or to run my defense, there's something in me that's got to say trust him. Let's just see what happens. I mean, what else could happen? We got to go out here. We got to play football. Don't tell me, okay? Don't tell me, gotta hit it, hang out with Mike. If we don't, it's gonna be good. We got great defense. Let's just let it out on offense. Well, hey Mark, hey, welcome to the show. Thanks, and just gotta let Bush Hamilton do his thing the whole time. He does. Thank you, nobody. I appreciate that as well too. But Mark. Here's the thing: we know our offenses. We still got to figure out who our offense is for next year. I know we got some. I know we got some good. I know we got some good receivers, and our receivers are going to be okay. And people are going to think otherwise. People forget about the season that they had as freshmen, and they want to remind us as far as what happens as sophomores and how many balls they dropped and whatnot. But people forget what they're capable of. We didn't have a great quarterback last year, but still our receivers, and I'm not taking up for our receivers. Our receivers still got to catch the football. Our guys still got to go up and we got to get 50-50 balls. We gotta reach out. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? We gotta hold on to the ball. If we're gonna catch the ball, hit the ground, make sure we hold on to the ball. This is what we do. You at a Power Five school, you're in the best conference in college football. Act like you belong here. And I think they will. But sometimes people don't let go of the past. People just want to keep looking back at what happened last year. Kentucky has got to go out this year from day one. And I think our defense is going to be good, but our defense has just got to be aggressive. No one can tell me differently. Our defense has got to be aggressive. I know, look, I cannot be the only person that looks at my TV and screams every single ball game just because we're playing too soft. Playing too soft. Like, come on. I mean, come on, man. For real. We got to do better than that, man. I mean, if you're sitting back there and you're so timid about getting beat every single play, then just call timeout, go to the referee and tell him we quit. Tell him the game is over. You can't look, man. I'm not waiting all summer long just to stay up late at 2 o'clock in the morning just to watch our guys play soft football. That's not the system. The system is be aggressive, force their hands, make them beat you, and until they do that, use two QBs. I think we're gonna use two QBs too. I mean, we got the one, but think about it though is Vandegrift is a running. He's not a quarterback that's gonna slide. That's a good thing and that's a bad thing. It's a long year in the SEC. Now you're getting your chance to play, Brock. I understand that you don't mind getting hit, but we need you for the team. So sometimes you're gonna have to be smart. It's not all about how many, how aggressive and how strong can I be and can I run over a couple of people or maybe outrun people. Sometimes you got to just go down. You got to just go down and live to see another day. Don't try to get, I understand that we had Will Levis, and Will Levis, he set the bar high, especially when it comes to a physical quarterback and big quarterback. We know what he did when he was here at Kentucky, and we know how good he was and how effective he was when he was able to get out in the open field and run the football. We understand that, but it's a long year, man. Things are changing now. You got to be smart, Brock. And even though you are a quarterback who doesn't like to slide, you're going to have to slide sometimes, and you got to be smart. You got to think about the longevity of the year and not just in the moment. I get it. You got to put your body on the line sometimes. That's what we want as fans of football. Are you willing to put your body on the line? But still, it's a long year, and we would like to see you from day one to the end of the year going. But you just got to be smart. But I think overall, our football team, and I think everyone in here is just ready for football season to start. And maybe, just to throw this out there, maybe people are ready for football season to get here just so basketball season can get here. So, for whatever reason, people are ready for football season to get here because that means that basketball season is right around the corner for sure. And that's exactly what we're looking for as well. Let's just see if we can get on the field. Can't play soft with defense. We cannot be soft on defense whatsoever, man. You know what? We hear about our tight ends every single year. We hear about what our tight ends can do. We get excited about the tight ends of who they are, the size of them, what the capabilities that they have. But do you guys think that we use our tight ends enough? Or are they just here just to block? I mean, like if you're a tight end and Kentucky comes recruiting you, how do you look at that? Do you look at that as being, are you guys bringing me here to block the whole year? Are you guys going to get me involved? Are you guys gonna let me do what I do with the football? So that's a lot of things that we definitely got to keep into play too as well. I just for me, let's just get on the field. Let's just see what we got. Let's work out the kinks or whatever. Let's see what kind of defense we're gonna play. I don't want to be just aggressive in our first ball game. We supposed to be aggressive in that ball game. I want to see what we do in our second game, getting right into SEC play, just right out the box. Let's just go do it. Um, let's see, can't play the tight. So I don't. So for me, I'm not really sure what to expect from the tight ends. I know Vince got those guys ready, but at the end of the day, how do we really get those guys involved? Are these guys are really going to be able to really make a difference, or is it going to be just a bunch of hype about what tight ends we got, but we only see them sporadically? Well, we're going to throw a little pass right here. We're going to throw a little pass right here. But overall, our tight ends, we're bringing them here to block. Come on, man. Let's get everybody involved. Don't be a team. UK football cannot be a team that we're easy. The other teams are so easy to figure us out. Or they're not going to do this, and they're not going to do that. We'll see 3 tight ends some this year. We'll see tight ends. My thing though of it is though, are we going to see them being able to be in the mix for being used? Are they gonna be a weapon, or are they just going to be a glorified blocker? Our defense is going to have to account for the tight ends, or they're going to be like, well, the tight ends for Kentucky, all they do is block the whole game. So maybe we don't have to pay so much attention to those guys. We can make sure that we got everybody else covered on the football field and maybe double up in the area just because they don't utilize their tight ends a whole lot. I think if you got weapons here and if you're bringing guys in who you feel like can really make a difference, then you have to use them. You have to use those guys, and you can't just let them sit over and just be door stoppers. You have to put them in. You have to put it in motion, and you have to be able to do it. So I listened to Coach Vince. Thanks and nobody. Thanks for that. Thanks for that of the video of the interviews. But for me, it's just all about getting these guys involved, making sure that everyone is being. It's just like it's the same thing for Mark Pope. When you put these pieces in place, are you utilizing them, or are you just bringing them in just so you can say that you got them? It makes no sense. Every single person on that team has a purpose. Are you maximizing it and you allowing these guys? Like, go back to basketball for a second. Why did you bring Amari into Kentucky? He plays defense and he's a terrific passer, right? And that's what you expect to get out of Amari this year. Great defense and a great passer with occasionally inside scoring. But overall, he understands what he's there for. And people, they're going to move the ball in just to get the ball back out. Are we going, and will we be in a system in offense this year for football that we're able to use our tight ends? I really hope so, for real. You aren't being in Georgia. That Kentucky fan talk themselves into believing they can fun to watch. Football changes drastically from game to game. This week, the tight ends aren't used. Next week, they're your go-to crew. And that's true. I agree with you, Earl. It's all about the game plan and who we playing is and like stuff like that. But for me, I think if teams know that your tight ends are going to be used often, then I think that's something that you as a defense coordinator, that's something that you have to plan for. You have to say, okay, we have to make sure they're using their tight ends more so than they're not. So we gotta account for that. But if you're a defensive coordinator and you saying to yourself, you know what, Kentucky doesn't use it, they don't use their tight ends very often at all. We'll check them and then we're gonna go off of them because they're not gonna get the ball very often. But when you got a game plan for those guys and you understand that they have weapons at the tight end position and they're not afraid to pull the trigger and rely on the tight ends more so than they have in the past, then that makes it easier for our receivers. That makes it easier for our running backs because now everyone's got to be covered, and those defensive guys we got to cover and we got to account for what that for what that tight end is doing. But yeah, I get it. From one game to another, we might be in a game where we might not be able to. We know that a Georgia. Okay, Georgia's got a good front on defense. We know that this right here might not be a big, heavy run game. We know that we're going to have to rely on our receivers and our tight ends to catch the ball, or our running backs out of the backfield to catch the football more. We get all of that, absolutely do. But I think at the end of the day, teams got to know that we have those weapons at our disposal that we can use at any given play. And when you do that, that's when teams respect you a whole lot more instead of just saying, "Hey, these guys, we ain't got to worry about this." And so for me, I think that's what it is to do. Hey, Jimmy, thanks for joining the show. I appreciate it. But hey, Harold, you're absolutely right about your point. Sean, welcome to the show. I appreciate it. Hey, guys, don't forget, if you're in here right now, please hit that like button if you can. It does a lot for me. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I appreciate it as well, too. It all means a lot, and it all makes a big difference for me. So thank you guys so much. I enjoy it. But yeah, at the end of the day, we just got to go out and we got to play. We got to play what we came to do, and that's football. And we got to be aggressive from the beginning of the ball game to the end. And we got to have teams to take us serious. Now, I like the fact that after football games, you hear talking about, oh man, Kentucky's going to hit you, Kentucky's going to do, it. But y'all beat us. But y'all beat us by 45. We didn't do too much. I want to go out this year and I want to play solid football from the first game of the season. I know people get hurt, but I hope that at the end of the day, I hope Coach Pope, I'm not Coach Pope, but I hope that Coach Stoops let these guys go out here and just play football and let their let their coordinators play the best ball that they can. And don't be trying to interfere and don't be trying to run the whole, don't be trying to run the what's name all by yourself. Allow the guys that you brought in here to play. To play. Hey, Kent, Kentucky, thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. It's gonna be a fun year, man. I really look forward to it. Don't forget, guys. It will be. It will be post game shows right after all ball games this year. I'm trying to work with my company just to see if I can come in late on Sundays because we work Sundays, which is Saturday nights or whatever. So I'm actually trying to because I can go to work and I can do a post game show out of my car or whatever. It ain't the same though for me. I feel like I'm in a rush. I feel like things are just not all that great. So hopefully my company will let me come in late and I just stay later in the day just to make up for that time. Or maybe I got enough leave. I can just take maybe 3 hours of leave every Sunday and or just take off every single Sunday. I could do that too as well. But don't forget, definitely after games this year, basketball and football will be post-game shows here at the Loyal BBN Fan Show. And I look forward to being here every ball game talking to you guys as well too. But nobody, we are beating Georgia. We are being so we just every fan, I understand there's a fine line of being realistic and there's a fine line of just being a diehard fan of your team. I get all of that. But like if you can't dream big for your team, then why even be a fan for? I understand, be realistic. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Georgia's just monumental team. I get it. But on any given day, if the other team can show up and be just a little bit better than a powerhouse like Georgia, then you give you a chance. And if you can find a way to keep games close, not just get blown out in the first quarter. When okay, you know what, guys? No big thing. It's just Georgia. We're down by 20. We're down by 27 in the first quarter. At halftime, we go down by 34 points. Let's just go out here. Let's just get better at a few things. Let's just practice some things. Let's see what our younger guys can maybe do. Get them some reps because the game is over. I feel like with anybody, if you could just go out here and just find a way to keep games close and just give yourself an opportunity. I mean, we look back over the last couple of years against Georgia outside of last year. I mean, we've actually been close in games with Georgia. We just made one mistake here, one mistake there, and then it just kind of got out of hand, and then Georgia pulled away. But I think if we can a Tennessee on the road or Ole Miss on the road, or even going down to Texas. And I get it. Texas is, I'm not sitting here and I'm not being naive and saying we're going to go to Texas and beat Texas by 44 points. No, I'm not going to say this. I'm not even going to say we're going to go to Tennessee and beat Tennessee by 21, by 30. No, I'm not even going to say that we're going to go to Ole Miss and beat those guys by 20, 21, 31 points. My point of this is, as a fan, you don't want to just take a ball game and just say, you know what, we're losing. There's no way that we're gonna win this ball game. It's just no way. Because on any given day, man, a powerhouse team like Georgia, Tennessee, any of these teams can have a bad day, and the other team can come in and just have a day like, look, everything in the world was just clicking. Everything that we got was just on one cylinder, and we came out and we found a way to win ball games. So even though you know that it's a big hill to climb, you still leave a little hope in there, that just hope that our guys will show up and understand that, hey, I know Georgia recruits the 5 stars of the world. We get it. And I know in basketball, in football, those 5 stars make a bigger difference sometimes than they do in basketball. But if we can just show up and just give ourselves a chance to just be competitive and not just get blown out. Anything down the stretch can happen, and I think for us, that's all we're looking for out of the football team, especially for those hard games on the road. Is just, can we stay in the game close enough to at least maybe ball go our way, a fumble here, maybe an NIT, maybe we get them off the field 3 and out immediately, give ourselves a chance. Maybe with the kicker that we got this year, maybe we can go down and hit a late field goal, saying that can actually win the ball game. You never know. Anything is possible. So while always the Georgias, the Texas, and the Ole Miss, and maybe the Tennessees, maybe these are here a tall hill to claim. Just because you believe that your team can't win these certain ball games doesn't mean that philosophy, that mindset has to be with every single body out there. We just got to go believe that we actually have a chance. You know what I'm saying? So we got to just give ourselves a chance, and don't shoot ourselves in the foot with bad holdings, with offsides, with all this kind of stuff, with interference. Just play smart ball as much as possible. I get it. Penalties are part of the ball game. They're going to happen. But it's which team can actually get a turnover or two, and which team can control the penalties. You can have an opportunity for a chance to actually win ball games. And I think that's what it is. We got talent. Let's go out on the field every game and let it all hang out. It's the SEC, baby. And Mark, that's the biggest thing, is like, just go out there and just give yourself a chance to win the ball game. Just give yourself a chance to be competitive. Just don't. I mean, otherwise, if we a fan base, okay, if you're a fan base and you a team and you say to yourself, you know what, we got to go play Georgia in this week, that's a loss, then don't go. Don't even play the game. Like, don't. Because when you go out there with the mindset of that you have no chance to win in this ball game, that's when people get hurt, because you're not giving it your all. People get hurt when you're not out there playing strong defense, or out there playing football at a high level. And people get hurt even when you do that. I get that. People get hurt. But when you go out there and you half doing it, then why even go out there for it? If there's any doubt that you can win, that you can't win this ball game, then don't show up and play. And I think that's the same thing for a fan base. I get it. Like, go out there and have a chance to win a ball game. It wasn't cool. Someone said, I've been a UK football fan when it wasn't cool to be a UK. So, hey, so why give up now when we've been, when this is the best we've been in many, many years? So why start reverting back to being like, oh, well, saying we're not going to win these ball games. These ball games are losses. It's a tall hill to climb, but you shouldn't hold your head down just because you make the comment that beating Georgia is a tall hill to climb, or beating Texas on the road is a tall hill to climb. I mean, we do got Georgia at home. Crazier things have happened. We do got Georgia at home. So let's capitalize on some of this. Let's take advantage of this. The crowd is going to be crazy. The crowd's going to want to win this football game more than anything. So let's just see what happens. The possibilities are endless. We just got to continue to believe as a fan base, and we got to hope that those guys inside that locker room, more importantly, believe that they can go out here and win ball games. Otherwise, dude, like, this is not for you. If you can't go out here and if you let these guys in red Or they probably gonna be, is it red? Or they probably gonna be in white. What is it? White at home and colored on the road, or is it I got it all backwards right now? Somebody will help me anyway. But it doesn't matter. I went to a Tennessee UK football game in Tennessee and got spit on by the Tennessee fans. That's just disrespectful right there. I think you should be. I don't look. This channel does not condone violence. We do not. We do not condone anything outside of being human. But you spit on me, we got a problem. I'm just sorry, it is. So don't spit on me. That's just, and now with so much going around and so many diseases and stuff, I mean, that's assault, man. It is. And hey man, won't you go spend a night in jail for that? Because I don't like what you just did to me. White on the road. Yeah, there you go. Blue on the what's name at home. There you go. Yeah. So I got my colors mixed up for a second. Hulk talk. uh so I got my colors mixed up for we beat LSU in triple overtime at home. I mean, crazier things have happened. It just does. I mean, look how crazy things are. Vandy just beat UK a couple of years ago. That's crazy. It really is. So, I'm definitely going to hold out. Um, I'm definitely going to hold out hope that we can give it our best. If we lose to a Georgia, it's nothing to hold our head down. Everybody in the country is losing to Georgia. So it ain't something that we should be like, oh man, we should have beat Georgia. Ain't no way we should have lost to Georgia. That ain't the case. Georgia's beating everybody. I just want to see if our guys can be competitive. Because sometimes, and this might sound crazy, but sometimes even when you lose a game, you actually can win. Because if you can go in and if you can go head to head, or if you can play toe to toe with Georgia, and you may lose that ball game, but if you come out of that ball game, you can start feeling to yourself, you know what? Georgia didn't blow us out. Georgia didn't beat us by 50 points. Keep it close. And when that game is over, and if you lose the ball game by 10 points, guess what? Not many teams in America are as good as Georgia. So when you go to Ole Miss ain't Georgia. So when you go to teams like that, you know what? We hung with Georgia. We was in the ball game the whole time. Take a little mistake away here, take something here. Don't have that turnover right there. And guess what happens? We can play with anybody. It just is. So even though you don't win a ball game, you can still win the ball game when it comes to mentally saying we have what it takes to play with anyone in the nation if we just come out and we play the way we do. A loss hurts. I don't care if I don't know if I don't care if it's against Georgia. I don't care if it's against Alabama. When you lose a ball game, it hurts. But what can you take from that ball game that you can still look at it in a very in a very positive manner and says we can build off of this? Now, when we play South Carolina, we don't need to lose that game because we can't say what can we build off it. It was South Carolina. You beat South Carolina. On a Georgia is when you get to use that excuse of, well, what can we grow from in this ball game? Even though we didn't win, what can we grow from in this ball game? And what can we take away and says, okay, that turnover, don't do that no more. That holding, don't do that no more. Jumping offside 5 times, don't jump offside 5 times. You take away some of those penalties and we okay. So hey, Larry, thanks for joining the show. Let's see. If you don't believe, then don't be a fan because anything can happen in the game. It's just all about belief, man. And belief, you can apply that to anything in life. You can, I mean, if you don't believe that you can't drive a car down the highway going 70, 80 miles an hour, don't drive that car. You just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't drive it. So that's, as a fan, we just continue to believe. So those are games that we know that we cannot lose against South Carolina, Auburn, or at Florida. And don't forget Vandy. We win 1 or 2 upsets in this playoffs. Anything is possible, man. You know what I'm saying? Always, Chris, I love you, buddy. But all this stuff is about hope, man, and not just giving up. Not just laying down and just thinking that things are just they are what they are, whatever. It's Georgia. Oh, it's Tennessee on the road. Oh, we got to go to Texas. I get all that. But I've always believed, man, that sometimes big guys play big in big games. They just do. And playing these games on the road, they big games. But it doesn't mean that we still can't go on the road and win some of these ball games. It just doesn't. And we just gotta get better at that for sure. Um, Never go back. Couldn't pay me enough. I'm not sure what that said right there. Hold on one second. If you don't believe, let's see. What is this? I'm trying to see what this says for a second. I went once her. Okay. So son of a gun says I'm not going back to Tennessee. We know Chris is a Tennessee thing. So Kentucky just as my quarterback gets done doing the same. If you know, you know. UK will be in every single game this year. I hope we are. I hope we're in every single game. I really are. And there's going to be some tough games this year. It's going to be some tough games this year. But I think we got to stay aggressive. We got to, we can't go out there and just start giving teams what they want. I mean, if I'm offensive coordinator and I'm looking at Kentucky, and Kentucky's going to give me 7 or 8 yards off the ball every single play, man, I'm just throwing it out there and let my guy go do what he do. By that chance, these fast receivers, they already done got in. They already got into second gear, and our guys, we got to play. We got to try to stop that. And you can only touch the guy so far down the field in a certain way before they throw that flag out there. So it's all about just always being aggressive. It's all about just letting the guys know. Sometimes you got to go out and you got to look. Even if we go out, hey Vandy beat you. There is no Vandy logo on any store, and you good. So if you sometimes when you go out, it's the same way it is in basketball as well too. In football, if you can go out and if you can hit guys in the face from the first play, you kind of set that tone of being like, you know what? These guys come to play. Kentucky will get after you. But if you go out there and if you let them guys be like, oh man, coach, look, coach, I'm open. These guys are giving me all this room right here. Throw me the ball. If you do that and you let them guys build that confidence, man, it could be a long day. It can be a long day. So you got to get up in their face and you got to hit them. Even if look, as much as I hate penalties, even if you got to get up in somebody's face and get something, get a flag thrown, just because you just gonna set the precedent of look, this is what kind of game this is about to be. This is about to be aggressive all game. This is you're not about to run all over the field on me. And if you go out and if you get that penalty one time, and if you just show them, that psychological thing does something to people. It throws them off their game because they're not expecting that whatsoever. So just I think this year is going to be really really fun for sure, and I think we got a chance to really be good. It just depends on which team we actually show up and what intensity we bring from the first snap of the ball game, and that's for sure. Hey, thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate it. Wherever you're watching from, please, I appreciate it. If you give this video a like, it would really mean a lot to me as well too. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do me a favor. I love you too, Chris. Not able to beat Georgia. Um, hey Ronald. Um, I get it. The narrative is not many teams in the country will beat Georgia. I get the narrative. I understand that. If we lose to Georgia, no problem. Nothing to hold our head down to. My whole point about playing Georgia is just don't be afraid. Like don't be afraid because it's Georgia. Be competitive. Give yourself, don't go in there like it was last year. It was crazy last year. Don't go in there and just let Georgia just blow you out. Just don't do it. Give yourself a chance in the late third quarter, the late fourth quarter to just say, we're in the ball game. Let's just see what happens. Let's see if we can play some of our best football right now. Everybody just tune out everything in the world that's going out. Everybody just focus on, can we get through this football game? And at the end of the day, you never know what happens. It's Georgia. I get it. I'm not sitting here and being naive and saying that we're going to beat Georgia. I'm not saying that. Not even by a little shot. All I'm saying is don't get blown out. Give yourself a chance and don't go into the game thinking that, look, it's Georgia. Let's just get some reps. Let's just see what we got. Maybe we can just get some young guys in there, see what they're capable of. No, you never should show up to a game with with the mindset that we can't win this ball game. You should never. Come on, man. Let's just do it. Let's just go out there. You're like Chris getting too much sun, fixing seats, throws his judgment game off. So, we'll see what happens. We will. And long as our guys, and I think as a fan base, we don't want to see our team just go down there, just go out there and just lay down just because of who the opponent is. That's my thoughts. And I'm nobody special. I'm nobody important. But my thing is, when we look at our team and they're out there on the field, what's their body language like? What's our upperclassmen? What of our mature players on the team, our leaders, so-called leaders? What kind of body language do they have? Are they walking around? Or are they out there trying to fly around and play football? Because the younger guys are seeing that. And if you give me good energy as a leader, I'll follow you to the end of the world. If not, whatever. Let's just get this over with. Try not to get hurt before the game is over so we can move on with the season. I get it. So let's just do it. Worst case for the season. Let's just see what we got. Go out there, play some football, see how strong we can be, and we'll let things on the field take care of itself. And that's for sure. 7-5. I'm a special nobody. 7-5. Is 7-5? Is that acceptable? Would the fan base be okay with the Cats going 7-5? Or or will the fan base just be happy that the season's over so basketball season can come in? So let me ask you this, Ronald, 7-5. That's actually a 10-1. Okay. That's tough, Paul. It really is tough. Let me ask a question. Is this 1 year that Kentucky could go 6-6 and the fan base wouldn't care only because basketball season's coming? Is this one of those years where a football team would be like, you know what? Don't worry about it. 6-6, cool. Basketball, let's go. It's not acceptable. Stoops making. Hey, Sean says that is not acceptable at 7-5. This crowd against Georgia going to be lit. I think our guys going to compete, line it up. I think, man, for real, man, 10-2 would be the best. So I guess the 10-2 would be the losses would be Georgia and Texas. Those two games. That means that we got to go on the. That means that we got to go on the road and beat Ole Miss, and we got to go on the road and beat Tennessee. Tennessee in the worst case, 10-2 is the probable best case. I'll continue to say this: 6-6 if the team comes out flat, or 10-2 if they come out on fire. You just like with Kentucky football. Sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get, and I think that's the hard part about it. Right there is that sometimes with football you don't really know what you want to do. Your fan base melts down getting to the NCAA tournament every year and want to run coaches off. The meltdown for 75 would be epic. I don't think we will melt down at 7-5. That's for sure. I don't think we will melt down at 7-5. Just because we're so excited about about basketball season that we'd be like, you know what? Those are the kind of things. Yes, I touched on that, Ronald. As far as beating South Carolina, like you have to beat South Carolina. Like for me, as I said earlier, like the question was, which game do we have to, if we can win, what game to set the tone for the year? For me, at first, my first thought was go on the road and win at Ole Miss. Like that would be good. but then you can't forget about that you gotta be South Carolina because you play Georgia right there soon too. So you got to beat South Carolina. You cannot lose that ball game against South Carolina. You got to win it. We have two quarterbacks. You have zero quarterbacks. Let's see. You might be running. Playoff system starting this year. We need to be in the top 12. That would be awesome if we was in the top 12. That would be. Once again, man. Look, as fans, I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody, what to dream or what not to dream. A lot of you guys have been UK fans double the time that I've been UK fans, or that I've been strongly been keeping up with UK. So I'm not going to sit here on this live broadcast and says it's crazy for you guys as fans to believe. I would never do that. I would never take that away from you guys whatsoever. Believe it, because I have high expectations too as well for Kentucky. I just want our guys to show up every ball game and play like they belong to be on the field with the other team, and don't just go out there and look across the field and be like, oh my goodness, dude, look at these guys. If you don't think Deion Walker ain't gonna be ready to play against Georgia, look, this is this is draft year for some of our guys. Okay, Deion Walker, this is draft year for him. He's got to go out and put together a one heck of a tape film for these guys to watch. And how do you do it? You go out here and you make big films by playing great against really, really great opponents. So if you don't think that these guys are not going to go out here and want to go to and not play at a high level against Tennessee, against Texas, against Georgia, against Ole Miss, these guys are want to go out here and they're going to want to play the best football that they can possibly play, because scouts are watching and they want to see what they do on the biggest stage, which is when they play some of these big teams like Georgia and Tennessee and Texas and Ole Miss on the road. This is what they're looking for. It wouldn't do you no good, Mike, to tell me we can't win. I have to see it. You know what I'm saying? We just got to see what happens, man. And this is not stuff that just applies to Kentucky. This is for any fan base. Any fan base should want to believe that their team has the capabilities of going out here and winning some surprising games. You just should. Otherwise, why are you even a fan of that team for? If you're going to go into the seasons and you're going to say, yeah, we're going to go 2-10 this year. That's the best we can do. 10-2, 10, or 2-9, or whatever it is. That's the best we can do this year. Why even be a fan for? Why even waste your time for? Like you wake up on Saturday mornings on game day. Well, we got a loss today. Why? Where's the fun in that? You know what I'm saying? Where's the fun in it's 3 overtimes, Harold. That was a great game. Yeah. So that was the LSU game. So like where's the fun of being a fan and waking up and always just saying to yourself, well, we're losing today. Just go stick your head in the sand. You can't be a negative person that much that just thinks that your team never, ever, ever has a chance of being anything great. So that's for sure. You just can't have anything great like that if you're just gonna walk around with a negative attitude. So that's what I bring to my show. And while it may be stupid and while it may be crazy to some, I just have to continue to say I have hope that our guys can come out here. You know what I'm saying? That our guys can come out here and we can give ourselves a chance to win ball games. Otherwise, I might as well just turn this off and walk away. And no need for me to be a fan no more, because I'm riding with them regardless of how the odds look, because this is my heart right here. Go Cats. Absolutely. Man, I'm excited, man. I'm so excited. The football season's almost here. I am like this dry period. I don't know about you guys, but this dry period has just taken a toll on me. It really, really has. So hope I just can't wait to do these post-game shows and everything. So I got a question. I had been thinking it for a while, but I saw like I said, I know Vandy Chris and I know his team with the Golden Boot podcast. And those guys, they have started doing shows 5 days a week, 30 minutes a day. Um, so I guess my question to you guys um, is it's almost like when you used to doing longer shows and then you do like a 30-minute show, it almost feels like that's it. It goes by so fast. How does 30-minute shows sound to you guys? Because as the season continues to get closer and closer, I want to be out there more and more. I want to be out there longer, or I want to get my name out there more than what it is. You know what I'm saying? Which means being consistent and showing your face a whole lot more. Does 30-minute shows, does that seem like a waste of time, or does that seem like something that maybe should be attempted to be tried? I know a lot of shows are longer than 30 minutes or whatever every single day or whatever, but I have to work my way up to doing longer shows every single day. But for me, I've thought, and this is just not because I saw Vandy Chris. Um, no, I'm like I see what I'm saying. So some people like the longer shows and everything like that, but I think the 30-minute shows is more so about just getting your name out there and people seeing you on a regular basis, more so than just taking away from the longer shows. I didn't drop that twice. So for me, I kind of think that's what it's about more so is just getting your name out there, becoming a face that people see often. And, so therefore, if people are watching your 30-minute shows daily, and then when you do a longer show, then um, I think that's when more people can come over and start watching because okay, you got a longer show. I've already been watching, so I can do. I don't care how long. Thank you so much, nobody. Thank you so much. Keep your Tuesdays and Thursdays and hour and throw some 30 minutes. And to me, that's kind of what I've been thinking about too as well. Now, here's I hate to throw this in during the show, but I got a lot of people in here who watch me on a regular basis. So getting you guys' thoughts really mean a lot to me. So that would mean if I do a 30-minute show, I would have to do a morning show. Otherwise, I would have to come home and go right to bed and get up at 6 o'clock, 6:30 at night here, do a show, and then go right back to sleep. But then I'm right back up again by 1:30 as well. So I think it's me trying to find a balance. Some people said, hey, maybe you should do a show at 12 o'clock right after KSR. But but for me, it would be easy for me to do a show. I think Tom Leach, they come on at 7 or 8 Eastern. Um, yeah, I think they come on at 8 Eastern. So I can come on and do like a 30-minute show at like 7 to 7:30 or 7:30 to 8, which is still good for me for my time. I'm still up. I don't have to mess with my sleep schedule because my sleep schedule is there is no sleep schedule for me whatsoever. My phone even sent me a message the other day saying your sleep cycle is completely off. It's now I don't need no beauty rest, that's for sure. I don't I'm a long way from that. I'm gonna need a lot more sleep for that. I'm going to sleep forever. But I wanna I'll overall shows. For me, I just wanna be I wanna try to go in more frequently than what I am now because I understand if you're not, one thing about this, if you only go twice a week, tomorrow at 8 Central. So that's when so tomorrow at 8 Central. That would be 9 o'clock, which is when KSR starts. Is when I know a lot, I know a lot of people don't watch KSR, but I know a lot of people watch KSR. You know what I'm saying? So it's listen to KSR. So I get all that. And I can't compete with those guys, and that's not down myself or nothing like that, but they're a powerhouse, they're a big program, not just in Kentucky, but just nationwide. So for me, I don't want to try to compete with that. That's just crazy. But I would like to go more frequently. And because I have people in here who watch me on a regular basis, I would like to get a balance of where I can go. Like now, I come on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 Eastern, I think it is. I think it's 7 Eastern when I go, something like that, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But I would like to maybe throw in like a 30-minute show or whatever as well too, just to kind of get my name out there a lot more and like stuff like that. Because football season is coming up, and then basketball. I want to make sure that my lungs are ready to go, and that we're ready to go as a fan base, and that we're ready to get out there and really watch them. What's the name? You do you, Mike. We'll show up. Thanks, nobody. I appreciate it. Matt's back is not it's not as good. So it's one of those things. People are not a big fan of Matt. A lot of people are fans of Matt or whatever. So at the end of the day, I just know that you know the loyal BBN fan show is not on the level, and that's not to put down who I am or what I'm doing, but I'm not on the level of that. I hope to be when I get home. I hope to rise and to be good, but to do that, I got to be consistent, and because of that, me getting feedback from you guys, I have an ideal record when you can upload a predetermined time. Well, I mean, yeah, I definitely want to do, and that's what the guy behind the scenes that does all my stuff behind the scenes, he's always telling me that. So like if I upload a video, it's always going to be around 7. It's always going to be around 7 or 7:30 Eastern whenever I upload a video. I upload it and I pre-schedule it to actually upload at a certain time so people know. But I got to do that more often too as well. So it's just about being consistent and like stuff like that. So I've actually been up since 11:30 my time last night, and now it's 3:16 a.m. I won't go to bed until 4 or 5 o'clock today. So I don't get a lot of sleep. I don't get a lot of sleep at all. So I'm trying my best to not beat myself up and stuff like that, but I want to be more frequent. And I think by throwing in a 30-minute show here and there would hopefully get myself out there more than what it is. So he gets his own way. I've never seen this curious in my life about anything as I am for UK basketball this year. I think we all are, Sean. Thank you guys for giving me your inputs on that, and definitely thank you guys for the support. It always means a lot to me as well, too. I think a lot of people are very excited about UK basketball this year, and that's why I asked the question of, is this a year is this sort of a get out of jail a free get out of jail year for Coach Stoops in football? Only because people are excited about football. We want football to do well, but if football was going to have a bad year, they got a bad year. Basketball's coming. Everyone's super excited about basketball. Is this a year that football just didn't do it this year. But we got basketball coming up. So that's why I asked that question is, can football have a off year in the sense of that? Only because everyone's excited and ready to see what Coach Pope is going to do in year one. Do they get a free pass of having a down year? Now, we all want to see our Wildcats in football do as good as possible. But for me, it's just kind of like, okay, you know what? When the football season's over, then that's a sign that basketball's in full swing for me. So let's just see what happens, and let's go. Same kind of sleep my wife has. She gets up at 4 a.m. and never gets into bed until 10, 11 p.m. It's rough, man. It's really rough on your body. And, when you're not 25 no more and you're trying to do this when you get up into age, I think I'm aging. I really do. Stoops more secure than Pope is. I think so too. So even if Stoops has a down year where they may go 6-6 or whatever it is, only win 6 games this year, make it to a bowl game, maybe they can get a bowl win or whatever. So, but I think all eyes in Kentucky because of the hire, because of Mark Pope being an alumni, winning a national championship, coming over, the hype about how he does his offense, the pieces, the coaching staff he puts together, the players he brought in. It's just so much that's just kind of going around the basketball program that everyone is just sitting like this and just waiting just to see, was the hype for real? Is Coach Pope really gonna change this program around and get it back to where it was before? Everyone's going to be watching. And so, everyone's going to be critical, I think, of every single thing that goes on. Even though people are going to give Mark Pope a pass, in year one, if things don't go as great, I still believe that because of the ramifications of recruiting, all of this stuff is gonna be fed off year one of Coach Pope. For me, it's just all about, can we have a great year in basketball in year one? And that great year doesn't necessarily mean hanging banner number 9. It could be great as going to the Elite Eight, getting back to the Elite Eight, being back to being one of the last 8 teams in the country still playing basketballs. giving ourselves a chance to go to the Final Four. That for some people, a lot of people, going back to the Elite Eight to them is a successful year as well too. Orphans here in Kenya, we really have some challenges like lack of food, shelter, and clothing, and a lack of clean water. Yeah, prayers for those guys been here. Prayers for those guys, John. I appreciate you throwing that out there. Hope things get better. Win the SEC, and in basketball, for me, I definitely, I definitely want to win all of that. And sorry to go off past here for a second, but hey, man, I just wanted to send out some thoughts and prayers to, oh man, dude, Jerry, Jerry, Jerry has been in the hospital for a while. He hasn't been on the show for a while, so definitely, Jerry's always been a very big supporter of me on the show. I talked to him the other day, and he was in the hospital. I actually got to check with him today to see if he went home or not. But Jerry's been in the hospital, so definitely keep Jerry in your prayers. I know he misses and not being here, but Jerry, you with us in our thoughts and prayers. So hope that you have a speedy recovery for sure. And let's get back and let's get ready for some football and basketball here at Kentucky. So definitely prayers goes out to you, Jerry. If Stoops does have a down year this year, maybe his last year, I do think Pope's catch would take some pressure off, but I think Stoops is on the hot seat for considering the A&M job. And, to kind of touch on the A&M job, a lot of fans, and, especially I see on Twitter or on X, a lot of fans are still bitter about that whole A&M thing. So a lot of people wouldn't even care if Coach Stoops was on the hot seat, and people wouldn't even care if this right here was his last year at Kentucky. I think a lot of people are just bitter because of that. And, so we have to see. So for me, if you want to, if you're Coach Pope, not Coach Pope, but if you Coach Stoops, for me, I think you better go out and I think you better figure out a way to have a really good year this year to kind of cool down all this hot seat, all this stuff, that people don't want you at Kentucky no more, or for whatever reason. If you have the intentions of staying at Kentucky longer, Coach Stoops, you got to go out here and you got to make this year really, really good, because a lot of people would not care if you left the program tomorrow, only because of how everything went down. Only because how everything went down with the A&M position, and you want to go to A&M. And I guess apparently the only reason that you didn't end up at A&M is because the fan base for A&M just had a really outrage about bringing you on board, and that's why you're not at A&M today. So once again, I don't know that, but definitely I hope you really go out fed up with it, and it's going if he's going to help people like the major players. At the end of the day, just like I said, these are just some of the comments that I see on X about conversations about Kentucky football, about Stoops and everything. But definitely, we hope we always want the best for Coach Stoops and his program. We just want to see you guys go out here and be the best versions of yourselves that you possibly can, and let's see what happens on the football field, and let's see, let's just see how things go. Hurl says, I'm not bitter, but I've heard a lot of people mad about the A&M debacle. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just glad that you came back to Kentucky. And let's see if in this year, let's see what kind of program that we can actually have. And let's see if we can go out here and win some football games. And let's win one or two games that the nation, that the media, that even some fans don't even think that we should be winning the ball game. And let's go out here and let's win, and let's go on the road and let's surprise some people, and let's be good. But yeah, not everyone's bitter, but I think, Twitter is really, really big for sports, and it's really, really fast. It moves at a really, really rapid, fast pace. So you get a chance, if you own it, you get a chance to see a lot of things, which I'm on Twitter too, or on X. If you're not, look me up at Big Mike 2014-23. That's an odd name. I just picked that name years ago when I first got on Twitter. Didn't know anything else to pick, so that's what I got. And so that's kind of what I'm running. But it's if you Google the Loyal BBN Fan Show, it's me too as well. If you have a good coach, other teams are going to want you. And that's the case. Tighten up. Texas A&M seeing what Seeing what Coach Stoops is doing here at Kentucky, they wanted Coach Stoops there because they felt like he can come in and change. The fan base said, no, not today. We ain't having it. They backed out. Coach Stoops came back to Kentucky. It is what it is. Let's just be happy that we have a coach that other big teams won't. That's a positive for us. Can that translate this year into a better season? I hope so. But that's a great point. Tighten up right there that you can. Um, Kentucky fans are loyal. If you're with us, we with you. But when you step out of the door looking, we'd rather just watch you leave. And I think that's the same thing that happened with Cal. At the end of the day, is like, look, if you're looking in February to go to to change jobs, then you might as well just go ahead and just go. You know what I'm saying? You might as well. I mean, we are a lot of the fan base was already like leave anyhow. So if you're already actively looking, then you should just go ahead and you should just go. So I think that's the same thing. I think that's just how things work out. But it's good to have a coach that other teams want. That's very positive. And nobody makes a good case about Texas A&M had the NIL, and I think that's what Coach Stoops is really preaching about here at Kentucky. We need more NIL. We need more support as well too, so we can lure in some of these big time players that come to Kentucky. So we can pay, because NIL is it, man. NIL was a reason Cal had a problem with Mitch. Vandy was ahead of UK 2 years ago. And I think that's the biggest thing. So I think at the end of the day, Mitch Barnhart has to do better when it comes with NIL, and has to set Kentucky up with success. We have to set Kentucky up for success, and NIL is here, and it's only going to grow and only going to advance, and every team is doing it, so we have to go do it too. I know Ron Mercer is a long leg Mac Daddy. HTG, thanks for joining. But it's sometimes, things go on when just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean that you have to do it too. Well, this is not one of those situations. Everybody's doing NIL, so you have to do NIL too. Otherwise, you're never going to give yourself a chance to be competitive. And if you want to call yourself a team that wants to go to the next level and wants to compete at a high level, then you have to improve the NIL, period, hands down. No questions asked, and I think that's really what it has to be for sure. I've left every job I've ever had, retired, but I've had plenty of jobs. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So people gonna leave jobs every single day, and it's just a matter of fact of just having a coach or somebody on your team that other people want, and that says a lot about what they're doing. But Coach Stoops definitely needs to go out and take this team and be aggressive from day one. And let's see if we can have a better record than 6-6. And let's see if maybe we can get to 8 wins this year, maybe 9 if we're lucky. A lot of these 5 stars aren't worth the money they want. A lot of them are not. A lot of them are not panning out to be, you know what I'm saying, on the high school levels. These guys are being good. But what happens when they go and play against guys who have been in college for a while? What happens? They get humbled. They do. Now, you get some 5-star players out there who come in college basketball and make a difference from day one. They out there. But just because you're a 5-star player doesn't necessarily going to 100% guarantee that you're going to walk into college basketball and be the man. Even in football, just because you're a 5-star doesn't mean you're going to walk in and be the man from day one. You got to humble yourself and go out there and understand that these dudes are real, they're big, they're strong, and they're mature, and they understand how to play at the college level, whether it's football or basketball. These guys are real, and they want to play football for real. Suppose UK is the lowest NIL bidder for Jasper Johnson. Apparently, Alabama is the high bidder, and UNC is the second. Yes, that is true. I got that word today from JC. He actually sent me that, and that seems to be the case right now. So, at this point, it comes down to the Jasper of being, do I want to go to Alabama and just get paid? Or do I want to go to North Carolina and get paid a little bit less, but still be at North Carolina? Or can I take a pay cut and come to Kentucky and be a part of the greatest basketball program in the nation? That's where you start seeing what people's priorities. That's when you start seeing what priorities are at. You just do. And so that is definitely something that we definitely gonna have to wait and see. Jimmy Thunder and Lightning was their nickname. So we have to see really what goes on. Um, I think Pope will let them go if they don't want to be BBN. And yeah, I mean, you got to let those guys go. You don't want to bring in sour apples. You don't want to bring in people just because, well, you're going to pay me the right amount of money. So I'm here at Kentucky. No, you got to come to Kentucky because you want to be at Kentucky and because you understand what it means and you want to play for Kentucky, not just because I can give you a bigger payday than these other guys will. Otherwise, I mean, you might as well just declare for the draft and just go ahead and just go because at the end of the day, but and I know I'm gonna take some flack for this, and I know some people are really diehard Jasper fans, but I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like Jasper, he's a good player. I've seen him play before. Not in person, but on TV. And at the end of the day, it's just kind of like if I had to choose Jasper over a seasoned vet that's been in college basketball, I'm choosing that guy that's been in college basketball for a while. I just am. I've seen things in Jasper that don't run back on defense all the way. You know, it's just one of those things. So it's just that's just kind of how it happens or whatever. But yeah, but hey guys, I got to get ready to go to work and everything like that. But always appreciate you guys tuning in and joining. Thank you guys once again. If you're here, if you never subscribed before, please consider subscribing. And if you're here, please hit that like button. It means a lot to me. I always appreciate all you guys coming out supporting the Loyal BBN Fan Show. And you guys know we'll be back next time. We back on Thursday night at 7 Eastern. See you guys then.